Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it will be a special edition video because I have a guest, as you can see, for the first time, hope first of many. We have Attila Pinke here from the blockchainbloom, and he's gonna be here and tell us what he thinks about the market. Let's see if he brought some important news, some interesting news to share with you, so you can have another perspective as well about the market, because you can hear only my view every day, and I was thinking that this could be a good thing. So make sure that you find in the description link the link to Attila's channel and subscribe there as well and like his videos. And hello Attila, how are you today?
Hello guys, hello Sabi. First of all, thanks for having me here. And yes, I'm doing actually pretty great. When we're looking at the market, actually the market also behaves quite good. I have to put it this way. And yes, you asking me about the present situation. Well, I think that Bitcoin is showing its strengths nowadays, because we had this downtrend. We're having actually this downtrend if you're looking at from November what is on. But recently what we have experienced with these big inflation numbers, and even now maybe worse a little bit, the newest thing, the war, what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, and even in these bad circumstances, Bitcoin is holding itself, and actually in the last 2 weeks or so, going again up and up, step by step. We don't have this kind of blow off top kind of thing, which is totally understandable. But now actually it's holding it pretty well. When you're looking at actually the chart, which we don't have in front of us, but we have this kind of, 45,000-ish level, which was a resistance level for a while. But now it became support. And even now, yesterday, we could see that even we went back to this 45,000 numbers. At the moment, when we speak, we are almost at 47, so 46,700 at the moment when I'm looking at it. So, which means that there is now demand for this kind of for Bitcoin, and we can also see that big companies started to buy Bitcoin for a while. And if you go back all the way to 2020, this in August, when it really started with MicroStrategy, but recently, which is partly the reason of our increase at the moment, is Terra Luna, who is actually continuously buying now Bitcoin. And they announced it that in the first step they're going to buy in a couple of steps $3 billion, but then they're going to continue probably up to 10 billion. So it's a huge amount. And now we are somewhere between 1.5 and 2 billion. I don't know the exact number at the moment. So we can see that there's another company which is continuously purchasing Bitcoin, have it as a backup kind of for the USD stablecoin, which is also a very important thing. And also we see this regulations going on, but in many cases in favor for Bitcoin, because now we're talking about rather how to implement Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in our financial system rather than to ban it. And on my channel, in the previous video, which we have just finished, you have talked about it, UK's approach that is also changing very much. So yes, I think at the present we are looking good. I'm not saying that it cannot happen, that it can change and it can go down, because we always have this kind of black swan events. We had this pandemic, we had the war situation, and you can do all kind of TA. It doesn't matter if something bad news hits the market. The price will drop. Most cases start with the stock market, and because Bitcoin is at the moment kind of, as you can see, recently correlated to the stock market, it's probably going to continue. If Bitcoin has a significant price drop, the altcoins will even have it's going to be even worse. So it's part of the business. You have to live with it actually. And this one with the war situation, or even the Fed, or even the pandemic, or even the China ban, I don't know how many times. It wasn't these wasn't the first ones, and they weren't the last ones either. So we're going to witness something like this in the future. This is very important when we have to have a strategy when we are in crypto, obviously not financial wise, but definitely to have something to follow, because you have to understand that this market is volatile, and even when it goes up, always it goes down after a while. We just don't know when and how much, but it's not a question of it's going down or not.
Yes, that's correct. That is because we don't have a crystal ball, then we can't know whether it's going to go up or down. And that is why I always say that we are reading on Twitter, for example, that go all in crypto, or go in this asset or that asset. And I disagree with that. I think the best is to have something of each. And yes, the inflation is very bad, because 8%, 9%, it's pretty high. And I think the real one, it's even higher. The recognized one is 8%. But it is always important to also have cash, because you can't buy the red candle if you don't have cash, and you can't just rely on crypto right now. It is something which you should have. It is something which is good to have, because it has huge opportunities, also very big risks. So that is very important to mention, I think.
Yes, actually, I agree with you on this, because I also agree you should have a diversified portfolio. And I'm not just mean in crypto itself, but I think it's very important to stay stable in a way that you having cryptocurrency as an investment, so you're not left out of this pump what we experiencing in the recent years. But also, and you do your own homework, whatever you like, because if you don't know an area, I wouldn't suggest just because it sounds good to invest. But some people say I invest in property, some people go in stock, some people have it in cash, some people have it in precious metals. So there are so many opportunities. The very important thing to know the area of your investment, because otherwise it's gambling. You don't know what you're doing. But when you studied, when you did your homework, and after that, you can make rational decisions. And yes, me and Sabi, we probably agree that we both like crypto, but I personally wouldn't go all in to crypto, even if I believe in it. I just think it's risky. But I think it's also sometimes for people matters of age as well, because when you're in your 20s and you don't invest that much money, then for you can take the risk, actually, maybe that even if you lose it, you still have plenty of time to get it back. And for example, in my case, I'm over 40. I have a family. I have 2 kids. I have responsibility. I have to think differently. And also for someone who is just before retiring in their 60s, have a totally different situation. So you should really think about where you are and then find the right strategy for that.
Yes. You also you always have to connect the risk with the consequences. I think that is the most important. That I can lose this money, it will hurt, but it will not affect my life. That is I think that is a good approach. Then versus I lose this money and I'm done. I don't know. I don't have money to buy food. That is a very bad one. So yeah, it is very important how much you risk, how you risk it, and what are the consequences on your life. And you are many times responsible for others as well. I think that is the most important. Okay, thank you for your insight on the market. I think we can say that we have a positive attitude right now on the market, and we just need to see what is going to happen. Crystal ball doesn't work right now, so we can't know it, but we are optimistic. You also brought some important news, some very interesting news. And I would like to ask you to talk about it. It's about the CBDCs, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes.
Stage is yours.
Okay. So we had the CBDCs, all these news, gossips around them here for a while. And we can see that more and more banks, central banks are interested in it. And basically the news I brought you is that the report by the PwC came out, and it shows that more than 80% actually of central banks are interested in launching central bank digital currency, because this is what CBDC stands for. And this is a big number, because if we just go back a couple of years, obviously not a lot, because just crypto is here with us for 13 years. We haven't seen this kind of approach. And now, because the whole world, it's really going to this digital way, what we're witnessing right now. And this is one of the reasons why actually crypto has a future, because Bitcoin itself is a decentralized digital currency, kind of internet of the money of in the internet. And the CBDCs are not necessarily blockchain based, obviously, but digital. And we're witnessing it that, you know, mostly nowadays you use your credit card when you shop anywhere, basically. Yep. If you go visit the supermarket, or actually you shop online, the same thing is actually happening. So we can tell that even now we have cash. We don't use cash that much. And the majority of the bank transfers, money transfers, obviously are in digital form already. So it looks like that the age of cash it's really outaged now. It doesn't have its use case what it used to have many years ago, and many countries, many banks, central banks realized it, and they said, okay, then this could be the new way we're going. On the other hand, this has a risk factor as well, in my opinion, at least. This is what I think about it. Because for me, at the end of the day, it comes down to control people's money. And imagine if you have it in cash, then you do not have to keep it in the bank if you don't want to. You can keep it in a safe. You can keep it in your pillow. It's totally up to you, whatever you prefer. But imagine if all the money will be digital in the future. The only storage place for that kind of money will be digital, which means that they will have full control over it. And now let's witness the previous situation, what we just had, for example, in Canada, that people who protested against to be vaccinated, you know, the government's movement was that, okay, let's freeze their bank accounts. So this was the way how they wanted to kind of stop them. So what a central authority can do, because it's centralized, they can actually act on these things. When you're looking at the sanctions, what goes against Russia now, I don't want to judge it now, it's bad or good. I just would like to show you the fact that because of the centralized organizations, they can actually act on it, and they can control even your life savings if you keep it in your bank. And now the future will be, because you will not have the opportunity to keep it in cash. However, now the way they advertise it now is that it will be next to cash, but probably the future they're going, it's like to get cash on the side away and have it full digital. And after, just imagine if you're going to do the wrong protest, you just not doing those kind of things, or you're just unlucky to living in the country where you were born and the country gets in a situation, sanctions can hit you. And then it's very important to think how you're going to survive the situation. And alternative could be obviously, for example, Bitcoin, where actually it's a decentralized digital currency. So you are in the digital world. On the other hand, it's decentralized, and with a hardware wallet, owning the private keys, you can own your savings, and you can actually transfer, the savings wherever you would like to do it, whenever you would like to do it. And rather than have it at the centralized authority, which could be the central bank, for example, or in the bank, in for that matter, and just simply having a situation when actually you cannot touch it. For example, everything is good when things looking bright and shiny, but when
when the shit hits the fan, right?
I actually, this was the one which was on my tongue, but I was just hesitating to say it or not. But you're totally right. But yeah, when shit hits the fan, exactly, that's what I wanted to say. Then is the situation when all turns to bad, and this is the situation when they have to come up with plan B or plan C. And this is the situation when you facing sanctions or you facing whatever, what you haven't seen before, haven't experienced before. And it's already a bad situation. You're already panicking. You're already thinking about how to do with your money and where to put your money. Because if you keep it at the bank, if you keep it in fiat currency, which fiat currency, because the inflation is also goes up in these cases. And then you're facing it that you actually cannot even touch it because, for example, it's limited how much money you can take out. Maybe I'm just saying a number now out of loud. You have, I don't know, $50,000 in the bank, but it's limited for daily, I don't know, $500. And so you start to take it out. Imagine the queue in front of the ATMs and the panic and all these kind of things, and more people will panic. And we do know that the banks cannot survive if everyone wants to take their money out in one time, because it's not how bank works. And then it brings to bankruptcy. So, you know, this kind of snowball effect, which starts in this case. On the other hand, if you have it in Bitcoin, then you don't have to worry. You can worry about the price of Bitcoin, because this can definitely go up and down. But if more and more people realize that this could be a great opportunity, and this is not financial advice, I'm just talking about here and showing the facts, then even maybe more people invest in that because they have the control. So one thing, the CBDCs getting stronger and stronger in a way that more and more banks, central banks, are focusing on them. We see China, probably the leader one in this with the digital yuan. And of course, it's time to think about diversify our savings, so we're not getting in this bad situation what I've just actually told you about. So when something bad happening, you still can have at least part of your savings on your control. I'm not saying full, but like a part of it, so you have an escape plan.
Yeah, and I think the worst part of all of this, that we only see what are the disadvantages, let's call them, or the risks, when we are already in the bad situation. Because when the governments, the state, politicians advertise for the CBDCs, for example, what are the good things which these bring to us, they don't really say what are the risks, what will happen when there is a war, how they can control, because this is about control. I watched, for example, Robert Kiyosaki's videos, and he is very, very focused on the control. He says that with the CBDCs, we will go back to communism. Maybe it's a bit exaggerated, but the control will be much, much higher, as you just said, that they will just see how much money you have, where you have it, and whether they want it or not. Because it's not going to be decentralized, that's for sure. And we have to take that into account and be very careful how we diversify, as just said.
Yes, and if you just think about that, they always playing with it, that how to make your life more comfortable. Because what you do now with your payments, if you can pay it with your watch, you can pay it with your phone, and what will be the future, who knows? And if you just think about China, they do it in a very clever way over there. They, came up with this WeChat kind of thing, and basically all the information, everything gets already on it. So the way how they use the data, what you put on social media platforms, whatever, it's all information about you, and you're going to be an open book for them. They know your habits. When we just move on to the next step, which will be the metaverses, then obviously in metaverses, you're going to see, you will be even more freely share your dreams, because you're going to live there your dream life, what you maybe cannot live and even more open up to them. So basically what they do, they just simply collect data about you, so they know you more exact, and also the control over your money. So this is definitely what the direction, in my opinion, where we are going, and we have to be conscious a little bit. We cannot do too much against it, because this is the mainstream, this is the way we're going, but you still can have some control, or at least know what's happening behind the curtains. And yes. I think this is the main reason why Subway is also doing this channel, the Breaking Free. And this is the main reason why I started back in 2020 in May with my channel, blockchainbloom, to educate you guys in a way that you actually getting some kind of information frequently, so you can know what's happening actually on the market. And at the end of the day, you're making your own decision. The point is to have a view over it, and not just the only source, which is the banks and the governments and authorities are telling you, but also have a different kind of perspective as well.
Yes, that is very important. I think it's with the inflation, with everything is going on. At the first part, everyone is very angry about it. But I can see that, for example, to the inflation, the people just get used to it. Life is not getting cheaper. Life is getting more and more expensive. Salaries don't come up, don't catch up with the inflation, but we get used to it. And yes, this is the reason we are doing this. This is why we need crypto, that we don't have to get used to it. We can change at least a bit, just to make it a bit easier, just to make it a bit better, and just to take back some of the control some of the time. So I think that was a very good end word from you, Attila. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. And make sure, people, that you go on Attila's channel and you like his videos. You can find there the other video, which is again about a different topic, about the UK topic, which is also together with both of us. And this was all for today. Thank you very much for everyone for watching, and see you next time. Thank you, Attila.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.